What up, fam? In today's video, it's going to be a little more serious video. I'm just going to talk about where I've been for the last 6 months, injuries, videos, races, and stuff like that. And I apologize for not putting out content. Actually, I have been putting out a lot of short form content on my Instagram, link in the description down below if you want to check me out there, and then re-uploading them here to YouTube as shorts, maybe just a little bit different, either different music or different clips slightly, same caption, but that's what I've kind of been doing. The last 6 weeks or so, I kind of just like took a break completely and just felt pretty burnt out on the YouTube side of it. It does take a lot of time, a lot of effort. It's a one-man show for me. If you're a YouTuber, you know what I'm talking about. So I am going to talk about what has happened the last 6 months. As many of you have known, I ran CIM, California International Marathon, this past December. Built up for it, went great. PR'd, didn't reach my goal, but I was happy with the result. About 4 weeks after that, I ran the Florida RRCA 5-mile state championship near my hometown in Florida. And since that race and CIM, my body has kind of been in like shutdown mode, not recovery mode. I did have a lingering injury for a majority of last year. I do not wish this injury upon anybody, but it is high hamstring tendinopathy. If you ever had that beast of an injury, comment down below. It's essentially a 3 to 6 month injury, unfortunately, and it is one of those injuries that you have to tackle it. You can't just rest with heavy progressive load lifting. Over time, work with someone if you know you may have an issue with that, but pretty much that's what I have been doing 2-3 days a week. Hip hinges, single leg deadlifts, trying my best to target the upper hamstring to get the tissue to remodel. I do blame the super shoes. Another topic for another video of how it affects your mechanics and how it imposes more stress probably at the sit bone. Comment down below if you have had any gluteal type pain or tightness in the buttock after wearing super shoes, but I think there might be a culprit to that, and the fact that I haven't really been heavy lifting the last training cycle. I have had high hamstring tendinopathy in my other hamstring, and that one took about 4 to 5 months. The same concept, wasn't lifting heavy. I sat a lot because I was still in chiropractic college at the time, and it was just a double whammy of the two, putting compressive load on the hammy and overloading it with running just wasn't a fun time. So for the longest time, I also thought that high hamstring tendinopathy, because of how it presented to me in my left glute, my first time I had it was on my right, it was a little bit higher and it felt like more in the piriformis. Turns out if you do have inflammation of the high hamstring, the inflammation can kind of irritate the sciatic nerve, which happens to be right around the vicinity. And if you irritate the sciatic nerve, it may cause your buttock to get tight to try to protect, that area. So I had like piriformis type syndrome, no numbness and tingling at all at this point, really. I managed it pretty well most of last year with some heavy lifting and deep massage regularly, but I got to the point where like I didn't want to take running for granted. And I decided to take a couple weeks off, actually a couple months off after the fact. So anyways, that 5-mile race, I returned from Florida. I decided to keep running, still thinking it was more of a gluteal instead of a high hamstring, that I could probably tackle it. I actually pulled my other hamstring 2 weeks after I returned, doing a tempo/threshold run. Went out a little hard, too cold, yada. Recovered in 10 days. Went back to running for about a week, did a long run that week in easy, strained my Achilles, was out for another 10 days or so, or modified running to reduce load in the Achilles. And this is the point where I decided just to shut it down and just recover and get ready, as this year coming up is the last year, or the year they're in right now, to qualify for the U.S. Olympic trials and the men's marathon. So I thought to myself, I have enough time to recover, not be miserable and be in chronic pain, and hopefully turn back the second half. And I'll talk about races I'm going to do this year or whatever's left, and maybe I'll see some of you fam there. But decided to take that rest then and now, and now it's June. So for the high hamstring, I basically, from mid-January for about 2 months, I did heavy cross training, like elliptical and biking and lever. Not so much lever in the beginning, more just so elliptical until my hamstring started to feel better. And I was doing elliptical workouts mimicking running. I was doubling with biking and elliptical. It was recovering, and I was feeling pretty good aerobically and motivated to improve and come back stronger. Not gonna lie, I was depressed for a little bit after the Achilles flare-up because I just felt like I was just going through a downward spiral of injury. I'm sure some of you fam have been there, and it can be pretty heartbreaking, but you got to do what you got to do to come back the way you can. It's part of the sport. So 2 months of cross training. Then I did a month of about easy running with still doing cross training workouts, no strides, still lifting heavy. And then about a month into this easy running, I herniated a disc in my low back, lifting heavy. I did a warm-up routine squat. I went down too low. I should have not had lifted that day. I felt off. I didn't feel like I had a lot of power. My hips wouldn't open up. My right hip wouldn't open up. So I went down. I shifted to the right, and I just felt this twinge in my lower back. Immediately felt numbness and tingling going down my leg in pain. So I literally had to sleep on the floor for 2 weeks, mostly in my stomach. And I did a lot of the McGill Big 3 and McKenzie low back exercises, so much to the point 3 times a day that I was back up to light jogging around day 4, day 5. I was back up to doing a light workout tempo run around day 10, but I didn't feel normal with speed stuff until about a month out or 4 weeks after the fact that I hurt my lower back. Unfortunately, I am still dealing with residuals from the, I know I sound like a mess. I'm still dealing with the residuals from the low back stuff, some random spasms along the pathway of my sciatic nerve on both sides, mainly right more than left. Even just like 2 weeks ago, I was doing a workout, doing great, recovering great. Times are dropping, doing intervals. I was to the point where I felt comfortable running Ks in about 3 flat, 258 3 flat. So I felt like I was at least in 15 flat 5K shape. But I did a rep, my glute spasmed the second lap, and I had to take it easy for about a week. And then even this morning, my hamstring on the opposite side spasmed near the end of a workout. But I was supposed to do Portland Track Festival this past weekend. Couldn't do it, or didn't want to do it. Probably wasn't smart for me to do it. I was signed up for Grandma's, dropped out of it, unfortunately. The marathon, I was going to think about dropping to the half, but I didn't. So good luck to any of you fam that are racing it. Yeah, so that's where I've been, just an injury roller coaster, and injuries suck. But here are the races I got planned on for this year, what's left of this year. Hopefully I'm healthy enough, hopefully I'm fit enough and confident enough to race. But August 5th, I'm running the Bowerman 5K at Nike HQ. If you fam are interested in running that 5K, it's open to the public and everything. I'll put a link in the description down below. It's in Oregon, obviously. August 5th. And then I'm planning on giving myself 2 shots at the OTQ, the Olympic Trials Qualifier for the men's marathon. One is going to be October 1st, the Wine Glass Marathon in Corning, New York. And there will be guys that are trying to OTQ, so hopefully there'll be a pain train to reach for and work together. But I chose that marathon because it's a net downhill, legal. The course is sanctioned and certified. I think it's 200 meters, or maybe not 200 meters, 200 feet drop net downhill. Not as much as CIM, but downhill. Weather's pretty fair, and hopefully maybe I'll get bottles. I'm not too sure yet, but it should be a good one. And the other race that I have on the schedule is California International Marathon, and that's at the beginning of December. Is a second shot. One last hoorah. It's going to be a stampede of people trying to qualify, I'm sure. It was like that in 2019, and that made it a lot of fun. Although I'm short and I can't really see if I'm in the stampede, so I just see the person's back in front of me, and I just hope. And it's kind of better that way because it is a rolling hill course. I just don't see the hill coming up. I just see the person in front of me, or the pace on their back if they're a pacer. I am looking for a race maybe at the end of August, and maybe in November, preferably a half marathon. So if you fam know any good fast races that are half marathons anywhere in the country, just comment down below what you think. As for the future of this channel, I'm going to try to post regularly again, at least 2 long form content videos a week. Don't quote me on it. I'd be happy if I can get out 1. I have been posting a little more shorts than long form. They've just been easier to put out. Less work and stuff. Just been pretty busy outside of YouTube. And if you got any suggestions on topics, I do want to do more informative stuff. I do want to do more workout videos and stuff like that. But I want to do more like running education, in the sense that, like, if you've been paying attention to like my Instagram reels, they have been very like science heavy, citing sources, and I want to do like a maybe make scripts or something based on all that science, and put a bunch of b-roll just explaining like pretty much like running physiology and performance. And I think that would be cool. Comment down below if that's something you would like to see, and also like this video if you're liking the video so far, because you know it helps the channel. I am thinking about also live streaming again. I haven't live streamed since the early days of my channel. There was maybe like a streak for 2 months I was live streaming like once a week. So comment down below if you would like me to do that again. It'll probably be easier for me just to engage with you, the audience, if I'm live, you know, because obviously less editing and filming and all that stuff. But if that's something you would like, and you would hop in and we could chat for a bit, talk about anything. I don't know how I would structure it. If you think of a structure, comment down below. But let me know in the comments down below if you'd like me to live stream again. And yeah, if you like this video, watch this video next. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell for when I post my next video. Love you, fam. Catch you guys next time. Peace.